guys, welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. My name is Darian. I probably look a little crazy right now because I have about half my makeup on, but no eye makeup or lipstick. But that's because today I wanted to show you my go-to eye look for a bright lip. And then at the end I'm going to show you some of my favorite bright lipstick colors for summer. So I'm just kind of gonna jump right in. I'm gonna be using the Jaclyn Hill palette today, but you can use a lot of different kind of neutral eyeshadow palettes. But I think for today, this is the one I'm gonna go with. So just jumping right in, I'm gonna use these two colors and just kind of mix them together as my transition shade. A transition shade is really meant to kind of add a little bit of dimension to your eye look, but it really just gives the rest of the eyeshadows that you use something to blend into. So, I mean, that's kind of the purpose of using a transition shade. So I use mine kind of high up because I have a lot of space between my brow and my crease. So generally you're going to use it above your crease, not necessarily in your crease unless you don't have as much space to work with. But it really is just going to kind of go all over. I'm just going to kind of build this up to the depth that I want. You can kind of make it as dark or as light as you would like. I also did not, so I primed my eye with concealer and I did not set it, but I used a pretty matte concealer, so it's not really creasing anyway. I'm using a very fluffy blending brush. It's pretty dense too, so you can tell the density of a brush kind of based on how easy it is to move. This one's kind of a medium density. The bristles are pretty long, and when you kind of push them, they don't really bend. So that means it's pretty dense, and they're kind of a stiffer bristle. That's something that I look for with brushes, like when I'm kind of deciding between what brush to use. Something that's a little bit fluffier is going to give a more diffused look. Something that's very dense and tightly packed is going to give a more kind of concentrated look. Next, I'm going to go in with a bit of a smaller, kind of fluffier brush. This one is a little bit more, or a little less fluffy, but it's going to diffuse color a little bit less across the lid because it's a little bit smaller of a brush. I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Butter. The first two were Silk Cream and MFEO, but this one is Butter. Yeah. Again, I always tap off the excess off of my brush no matter what palette or what shade I'm using. This one I'm going to take on the outer corner of my eye, which is just kind of right here. And then I'm going to bring it up a little bit into the crease. I'm keeping this one lower than the last shades. I generally use two transition shades, so this would be what I would consider my second transition, because I'm just building up that depth a little bit before going in with like a deeper, darker shade. I also kind of take my shadows out pretty far out here. Depending on your eye shape and your preferences, you may not want to do that. It's kind of up to you. Next, I'm going to go in with a tapered blending brush. It just kind of comes to a point a little bit more here at the top. And I'm going to go in with the shade right next to the one we were just using, the shade right here, which is called Hooter. I don't know. And this one I'm going to keep right here on the outer corner. Now I'm just kind of building up the depth on my eye. So first I'm just kind of packing it on, like pressing it on my eye, and then once I have the color laid down, then I'll go in and blend. Now if you're looking at this and it looks, and you're kind of wondering why I've just used 4 colors, because it looks like I just used 1, that's kind of the point. I want them all to blend together and look really seamless, and for it not to look like I just packed a bunch of color on my eyes. But you definitely don't have to kind of go in with the same process that I did. You could just use this, this shade or the last one kind of all over, depending on your preferences. Next, I'm going to go in with a little pencil brush, and I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Chip. Yep, Chip. This one, and then right next to it, which is Mocha. So I'm going to mix those two together. And then I'm going to place them right here on the outer corner. Next, I'm going to go in with this shade, which is called Obsessed. And I'm just going to kind of take this on my finger and pack it on my eyelid. I pretty much always use metallic shades with my finger, but if you don't like doing that, you could go in with a brush. But I do recommend wetting your brush with any metallic shade, just because you're going to get the best payoff that way. I prefer to just use my finger because it's a little bit faster. If you don't like using shimmer shades, you could also go in with kind of a matte shade here. I don't go a single day without wearing shimmer on my eyes, so this is the shade that I like to use. Okay, lastly, I'm gonna go back in with that little pencil brush and those 2 darker shades and kind of build those back up because we lost a little bit of that. Okay, so I just went back in with this original blending brush and just kind of blended over that darker shade. Basically, the eyes are almost done. Essentially what I want to do when I'm doing a bright lip is I want to define my eyes, but without it being the focal point of the look. So I want to go in with mostly neutral browns, but I want to have a light shade across my lid so that it brightens my eyes a little bit more, so that they don't get lost with the rest of the look. I'm going to go in with a little tiny blending brush, and I'm going to mix these 2 shades with this one, Pooter, and I'm going to blend those under my eye. Next, I'm going to go in, if I can find my brush, with just like a small blending brush or like a smudge brush, that's the word I was looking for. I'm going to go in with the shade Mocha. Almost dropped my palette. That would not be good. And I'm going to smudge this kind of on my outer corner here. Just add a little bit more depth to the lower lash line. For my inner corner highlight, I'm going to use this first shade here called In Light. Oh, that's a little brighter than I expected. Okay. So I'm still trying to figure out my lighting. I know it's still a little off, but I don't have the money for like studio lights, so I've just kind of been working with what I have. Also going to take this under my brow bone. I've been growing out my brows and it has been a process, to say the least. I want to define my lash line a little bit, so I'm going to go in with the Colourpop liner in Mr. Bing. Okay, liner is on. You may not be able to see a big difference because it's kind of a, I don't know, like a light or kind of a deep brown shade. It's not black by any means, but I don't want to go in with a black because I think it'll be too harsh. So I'm going to curl my lashes and apply mascara off of camera, and then I will be right back. Okay, mascara is on. I used the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I did not apply lashes, like false lashes, because I don't wear them on a daily basis, so I didn't think that was all that necessary. So I went ahead and swatched some of my favorite bright lipsticks. This top one is the Get a Room Lux lipstick from Colourpop. The Lux lipstick formula is one of my favorites. It's not too dry, it's very comfortable to wear, and it doesn't wear off too quickly, but it's not like super long wearing either, just because it's not super matte. This next shade is Fresca? I don't know, it's strawberry in Spanish, from Dose of Colors. This is the collaboration with I Love Satin from YouTube and Dose of Colors, and I love this shade. It's a very strawberry red shade. You may be looking at these and thinking that some of them look very similar, but to me these are pretty different. So this one is a lot more of a strawberry undertone, this one's more of a red orange. So I love those two. This one's a little bit more matte. The Dose of Colors liquid lipsticks are a matte liquid lipstick, so they're pretty long lasting, but I find that if I reapply them, because I've eaten or something and they wear off a little, they do tend to kind of get a little chunky and like flake off my lips and things like that. So it's not my absolute favorite formula, but this color is absolutely worth it. This next one is Mucho from Colourpop. This is in their Ultra Satin formula, which is one of my favorite lipstick formulas of all time. It's one of the only liquid lipstick formulas that I can wear all day without getting uncomfortable or without it kind of flaking off or anything like that. I can reapply it when I need to, and in general I just love their Ultra Satin formula, and this shade is just so bright and pink and it's great. I love it. The next one, this one is one of the Physicians formula, the Healthy Lip. It's something tulip. The little label fell off, so I don't remember what the name is, but it's something tulip. I think it's, yeah, I don't know, something tulip. But this shade is really pretty. It's just kind of a nice pinky kind of strawberry color. It's a little different from Fresca because it's a little bit less red, so it's a little more pink, a little less red than Fresca. The last one here is the Smashbox Always On liquid lipstick in Thrill Seeker. So another red orange. It's just kind of a little bit more red than Get a Room is, and it's a little bit more matte. So the Smashbox formula is again fairly matte. It's not my favorite to wear all day, but what I will do, I usually put this gloss on top. This is from Colourpop and it's their ultra glossy lip, oh my gosh, can't talk, in Secret Weapon. If I'm going to try and wear the Smashbox lip all day, I will usually layer that gloss on top and it makes it a little bit more comfortable. But these shades are just some of my favorite really bright lipsticks to wear during the summer. And as you can see, they kind of don't contrast to the eye look. So when I'm going with an eye look for something bright, I don't want something that's too warm or too cool toned or going to take away from the lip color. So that's kind of the theme today. I think today I want to go in with Fresca. The other thing, I always pretty much line my lips, and my favorite lip liner is the BFF lip liner from Colourpop. So that's what I'm gonna use today. Where did my mirror go? Okay. Sorry. It's having a day. That's fine. Okay, so here is the lipstick on. Again, it's just a really good color. It is one of those that kind of makes your teeth look a little bit whiter, which is always great. It does dry down and doesn't really transfer once it dries down, which is nice when you're wearing a bright red or any bright color really. So yeah, that's the finished look. Tell me what you think in the comment bar below. Let me know if there are any videos that you want to see, if there's anything that you're struggling with in terms of makeup or skincare or anything like that. I'm always happy to do those videos for you. I hope to see you next time. Bye guys.